Well, you're welcome back to Arise America. Now, we told you earlier about the ban on Barbuda as well. Joining me now to have this conversation on U.S. visa restriction is Ambassador Wallace, who is the Consul General of Antigua and Barbuda to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Good to have you join us on Arise America.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Now, we'll talk about this. I mean, it seems like the restriction is a thing that's going around African countries. So, so first off, the concerns raised by the U.S. is about Antigua's citizenship by investment. That's the program, saying it lacks residency requirements. So how should Antigua plan to address the concerns, and what changes will be made to that program? Will there be changes made to that program?
Yes. Well, the Honorable Prime Minister has already indicated that he will now extend. Before, it used to be 5 days within 5 years you spend in the country.
Right.
And I think those obviously needed tightening because people just get the passport, they come for a weekend, or they make the 5 days in 1 week and they go away. I think the concerns by the American government, which is their right, is that people were not showing enough commitment to the country of their new citizenship to verify that they are genuine in their quest for being an Antiguan citizen. So the Prime Minister has said that he will now, as a quick, what I'll call referral to what the American government is saying, he said that now you must spend 30 days. I don't know if in negotiations he will now be either forced to or asked to create maybe a 90-day during a year or during 5 years. That will be the government and the Prime Minister's decision. But I think the important thing is the security aspect of the citizenship by investment route. And that is that the American government will not just wake up and put a country like Antigua, which is just 60,000 people, with 90% of them going to the UK because it's still a UK.
Yeah, that brings me to the issue of the dual citizenship with Barbuda and Antigua and Nigeria, other countries. Yeah. So is that the concern that you think, especially with regard to security?
Yes, because if for example, you're applying for an Antigua passport here and citizenship by investment, I would normally do, and we will normally do, a pre-security check before you can even apply. If that is bypassed, that is already one security risk that has happened. When it goes to the country, there are only two sets of professions that can be agents, and that is law society members, that is lawyers, and professional accountants. Why? Because they can be held responsible in the country for any bypassing of the security policies and regulation, and they can be either kicked out of their profession and they can be held responsible in the country. So people who are outside claiming that they can get passports for people in Nigeria, a lot of people are running around saying that they can get dual citizenship, etc. Of course, the American intelligence service and American government here would have been alerted to that type of thing. Now, when it goes to the agent, he does a pre-security check on all the documents, etc. They have not as yet got a serial number to say that they're being processed. The agent now will send back and make sure that all the documents he wants lined up for the citizenship by investment unit to be able to accept that application. Once it's accepted, they are given a serial number for tracking. When it's in the citizenship by investment unit, they will also do their security checks. So that's 3 security checks already. After they're finished and they're satisfied, they now send it out to what is called the DDF, the Due Diligence Forum, which is made up of international security agencies. Now, if you bypass that process somehow by claiming you can get a passport through your relationship with the government, meaning the government hierarchy, then you are creating locally a security risk for the American government. They would have heard, they would have seen, they would have known that people are claiming this relationship, and that gives them cause for concern.
Right.
Why? Because Nigeria is cause for concern to the American government based on terrorism, money laundering, fraud, etc.
But don't you think that some of these, strategies with regards to security, checks that you've mentioned, the 1, 2, 3 that you mentioned so far, four
really?
so far, or 5, still there are still issues here and there that might have been pointed out, because I don't believe, should we believe that is the dual citizenship alone with regards to security that has caused, Barbuda to also be in this restriction list?
Well, no, it's not just that alone.
Okay.
We've had histories of certain things happening with people getting, as soon as they get the passport, they now apply for a US visa. And then you can see an increase and a volume of Antiguan passport holders applying for citizenship. I mean, it's normal. If, for example, 60,000 people per year, you only have 100 applications for visa, and then suddenly you have 1,000, there is cause for concern.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the impact on the citizens and economy in Antigua and Barbuda. So what impact do you, expect these kind of restrictions can have on Antigua's economy, particularly the tourism sector?
Yeah. Well, the tourism sector is the mainstay of Antigua's income and revenue. The citizens of Antigua who are going to the United States mostly go for studying, visiting family members, and it's a small percentage because most people go to the UK because of the affinity to the UK.
Yeah.
But what you would see is that maybe the cruise ship sector, they might decide, well, if Antigua is a no-no because they have, a red flag from the American government, they may just decide to exclude them and go to another port for whatever reason. They'll be thinking that this is a risk factor for us. So we are hoping that that doesn't happen and that they will still visit the island for, for visits, one-day tourism, etc.
So how does Antigua plan to, maintain its diplomatic relationship with the U.S. amidst all of this, restriction? Well, and thank God, like the professor said, he's a transactional leader.
Yes. Yeah. Well, in the United States, we have Ambassador Sanders, who is very long in the teeth in staying in the U.S. and having he's been there for more than a decade. And he has a very strong relationship with the American government. And I think he would utilize his equity relationship with the government. And the Prime Minister obviously will be guided also by his advice and will try to comply, I'm quite certain, to ensure that Antigua comes out of that. Because it was surprising to most people that Antigua was among the list, apart from Dominica, on the issue of suspension and visa sanctioning. Yes. So
finally, I mean, if you were to pass a message to the U.S. government regarding these restrictions and their impact on Antigua, what's your message, and how can Antigua itself, the government, ensure that they still have diplomatic relationship?
Well, they do have diplomatic relationship, and it's very good. I think the American government, what would be told to them is, look, we comply with everything that you have asked, and we'll continue to comply. Give us a checklist.
But I know that Brown, the Prime Minister, had, said he doesn't, the characterization of Antigua, he sort of, opposes what the Trump administration said.
Yeah, well, that is the Prime Minister saying that.
Right.
But I think he is a very reasonable man. At the end of the day, when the Trump administration or Mark Rubio speaks with him in private, they will work things out. I'm quite certain about that, because they've always been a very extremely good relationship between the United States and Antigua and Barbuda. They are neighbors.
Right.
Yeah.
Good to chat to you. Thank you so much for coming on. He is Wallace. He is the Consul General to Antigua and Barbuda to Nigeria. We had to talk on the U.S. restrictions.